Thank you very much, Professor Somshekar, for nice words. Honorable Vice Chancellor in absentia and dignitaries on and off the dais, participants, teachers, students, and admirers of mathematics assembled here. Welcome you all. I'm glad that you waited till the fag end of the inaugural function to hear me. Thanks for your patience. At the outset, I wish to gratefully thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor for extending all hospitality for conduct of today's conference, and the Chairman of the Department, Professor Vasaki, and his team of professors and teachers and students and administrative staff for organizing this conference. I know how difficult it is to organize an international conference of this magnitude, both logistically and in terms of finances and in terms of physical and mental stress and strain. And I'm also thankful to the members of the Executive Council and the various committees of the SSFA for their valuable role in organizing this conference, starting from identifying a willing, reputed and resourceful host such as University of Mysore and its Department of Mathematics, right up to having eminent mathematicians and participants from across India and abroad to converge to Mysore. In any meeting concerning special functions, I no longer trust my memories, not that I trusted before, especially so now. I noted down some points. In any meeting concerning special functions and even other areas of mathematics, it has become inevitable more than ever to speak of relevance of Ramanujan's mathematics, even though the century has passed after his death. The discoveries he made during his short life of 32 years are proving more and more relevant and inevitable, not only for the development of mathematics, but other branches of science and engineering too, like signal processing and physics, of course. The most popular area of research today is, as many of you would know and agree, is what is now known as the theory of Mach modular forms. A theory that is being built around a letter Ramanujan wrote from his deathbed to Hardy, his mentor. It contains seeds, as it were, of a new theory at that time of 17 examples of what he called Mach theta functions. But without he didn't define them in his letter to Hardy. Perhaps Ramanujan had developed the theory a good bit, but could not communicate as he was overtaken by death. But the letter turned out to be mysterious and plentiful, in that it took decades of efforts by mathematicians until, in 2002, a satisfactory definition and treatment of Mach theta functions was given by a doctoral student by name S. Vickers, who has now become famous as gravity, corresponds to the vibrational mode of these strings. For the landmark achievements made so far towards fulfilling Dyson's dream and in the theory of Mach theta function or Mach modular forms, one may read, for instance, articles by Ken Ono titled The Last Words of a Genius in the American Mathematical Monthly of December 2020, and by M. Ramamurthy, the most recent paper I saw, Ramanujan in the 21st Century in Mathematics. That's the title of his paper, and it appeared in newsletter of Ramanujan Mathematical Society as late as September 22. And more importantly, the paper by J. Harvey titled Ramanujan's Influence on String Theory, Black Holes and Moonshine in Philosophical Transactions of Royal Society, published in 2019. Though the mathematics of string theory has come out elegant, there still is not a general consensus among physicists regarding the theory as it stands in meeting the expected goal of unifying the two fundamental theories of physics as set out by Einstein. Thus, it seems that there is much work left to do for both physicists and mathematicians, preferably in collaboration. To this end, I would like to urge through this platform, universities and institutions endowed with strong departments of mathematics and physics, such as the ones of University of Mysore, to run elementary and advanced teaching and research programs in string theory, preferably in collaboration with each other. SSFA, on its part, I believe, would continue to give intellectual support by bringing together experts and learners periodically. And I used to add towards the end, remind ourselves that tomorrow we'll have Professor R.P. Agarwal Memorial Lecture by Sean Cooper from New Zealand, a former student of Richard Askey. Cooper has authored a book entitled Development of Electric Functions according to Ramanujan. I believe he is going to speak about that partly tomorrow. And here Cooper has credited that book to Kevin Touchlinger, about whom we heard earlier. The book, Cooper's book, is a revised and edited version of a monograph of Venkatachalanga with the same title. The monograph of Venkatachalanga was a culmination of his decades-long work on Ramanujan's last notebook and earlier notebooks. It was immediately hailed by none other than Richard Askey, George Andrews, and Bruce Byrne, and other workers on Ramanujan's notebooks, and also by Andrew himself. I was told by Venkatachalanga himself that he received a letter of complimenting the author from Andrew, complimenting the author for his elementary approach in establishing difficult theorems in Ramanujan's alternative theories of theta and electric functions and relations to other classical works of European mathematicians. And Professor Venkatachalanga's monograph, being terse to read, and since he has left a lot of gaps for readers to fill up, Cooper's book would come in handy for all those who are interested in that area. Professor Venkatachalanga was a versatile mathematician and founder professor of this department in the 1960s, early 1960s, as you heard before. He laid a strong tradition of teaching and research. He was one of the first to teach Ramanujan's theorems in classroom back in early 1960s and encouraged his colleagues to do so. I was lucky to be his student as well as his younger colleague until he retired in the year 1966. And I was also one of the first two lecturers to be appointed by him and the committee of which he was a member. Today I feel doubly nostalgic as well as uniquely privileged because I also represent the SSFA. In fact, I was also lucky to be associated with the SSFA right from its inception, and also its founder, Professor R.P. Agarwal. Professor Agarwal is known for his profound contribution to the area of special functions and applications. He is particularly famous for his 3 volumes entitled Resonance of Ramanujan's Mathematics. One of the important contents of the book is Ramanujan's theta functions, and we should know that the book was published in the 1990s, even before Zweggers came into picture. Incidentally, I was privileged to be asked by this legendary mathematician, Professor Agarwal, to write a chapter for his books. Needless to say, I faithfully did so to his satisfaction. With this, I end my brief talk, wishing the participants an academically rewarding time while at the conference and in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request all the delegates on the dais to felicitate Professor S. Bhargava.
We have come to the end of this inaugural function. I request Dr. P.S. Guru Prasad to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I thank the Society of Special Function and their application for considering the Dawson Mathematics University of Mysore to organize the annual international conference of SSFA in our venue. I thank you, sir. So I thank Professor Rajshekar He, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Mysore for inaugurating this function and delivering the inaugural address. Thank you, sir. And I also thank Professor S. Bhargava, President SSFA, for presiding over here for this inaugural function and delivering the presidential address. Thank you, sir. So I thank our chief guest, Professor M.A. Patan, Secretary SSFA, Professor Kalyan Chakraborty, Vice President SSFA, Dr. A.K. Singh, former Director, Department of Science and Technology, for their presence and also addressing the gathering. I also thank the senior professor, Professor Matai sir, and Professor Sampath Kumar sir, and Professor S.N. Singh, and all the other dignitaries. And also I thank Professor Ahmad Ali sir and also Professor K.R. Vasili sir, Chairman, Dawson Mathematics University of Mysore, and also organizing secretary of the present conference for all the efforts they have put in to organize this beautiful conference. Thank you, sir. And also I thank all the faculties of Dawson Mathematics University of Mysore, and Department of Mathematics, Duraj's College, Mysore, for their support in organizing this conference. And I also thank the invited speakers and paper presenters, research scholars, and participants for accepting the invitation of the Society and Dawson Mathematics for coming and attending the conference. So I also thank all the advisory committee members and organizing committee members for their support. I thank research scholars, volunteers, and office staffs and students of this department for their timely help. I thank media and media persons who are present here for all the support. Finally, I thank all the people who are directly and indirectly helping us to organize this 3-day international conference on special functions and applications. Thank you, one and all.
Now the national anthem will be played.